Hi guys, we are from group Triple F. So our topic is Industrialized Building System, or we call it IBS. Hi, my name is FAZLI. Industrialized Building System. What is IBS? IBS, known as construction technique, in which components are manufactured in a controlled environment, transferred and fabricated in construction works by minimal on-site workers. Understanding of IBS. First, all the components will be manufactured in control site, and all the components will be transported to site, and the assembly of the component will be on the site. Industrialized building system in Malaysia. 1960, IBS was initiated since the 1960s when the Ministry of Housing and Local Government made visit to several European municipalities with the objective of assessing their housing development plans. In 1964, the first such project took place on Jalan Perkeliling in Kuala Lumpur, beginning in 1964, creating 7 blocks of 70-story flats alongside 4 blocks of 4-story flats as well as 40-story blocks of shops. And in 2020, Construction Industry Development Board Malaysia (CIDB) wants to make their Industrial Building System IBS mandatory by 2020. The use of industrialized building system. All building components such as wall, floor, slab, beam, column and staircase are mass-produced either in factory or site under strict quality control and minimal on-site activities. Types of IBS. First is precast concrete system. Example is PC column, beam and slab. Second is formwork system. The example is styrofoam, beam and column molding form. The third one is steel frame system. The example is steel beams and column water frame. Fourth is wood frame system, timber frame, prefab timber. And the last one is block system, interlocking concrete masonry unit, lightweight concrete blocks.
Hi, my name is ADILLA FARHANA BINTI AHMAD FAUZI. I would like to talk about IBS. IBS sustainability. First of all, IBS can save energy and resource, recycle material and minimize the emission of the substance. Second, IBS is a system that harmonizes with the local climates, tradition, culture and the surrounding environment. Third, IBS is able to sustain and improve the quality of human life whilst at local and global level. Lastly, IBS can save and increase workplace productivity. Then, challenges of IBS. Lack of IBS design knowledge and is not a popular choice among designers because IBS perceived as limiting creativity in design. And lack of on-site specialized skill of assembly and erection of components. After that, challenges of IBS is challenges of development of standard plans and standard components. Lastly, lack of quality control in smaller IBS manufacturer. Advantage of IBS. First of all, less construction time. IBS requires less construction time because casting of precast element at factory and foundation work at site can occur simultaneously, and the work at site is only the erection of IBS components. Then, cost saving. The formula of IBS components are made of steel, aluminium or other materials that allows for repetitive use, and this leads to considerable cost saving. Third is saving in labor. Is the permit and the use of labor will be reduced and lead to saving in labor costs. Next is less labor at site. Use of IBS will reduce the construction process at site and constantly reduce the number of labor requirement at site. Optimize use of material. The utilization of machine during the production of IBS components lead to higher degree of precision and accuracy in the production Then the higher quality and better finishes. An IBS component have higher quality and better finishes due to the careful of material. Better and strict quality assurance controls since production in factory is under sheltered environment. Then construction operation less affected by weather. Faster project completion due to rapid all-weather construction. The effect of weather on construction operation are less due to the fabrication of IBS components is done in factory while at site is only erection of the components. Next is flexibility. IBS provide flexibility in the design of precast elements so that different systems may produce their own unique precast construction method. After that, increased site safety and neatness. The utilization of IBS components leads to less construction process, especially wet work at site. This will lead to the neater site condition and increased safety. Lastly, the environmental friendly. The use of IBS will decrease the using of timber from work on construction project. This is some picture of advantage of industrial building system IBS. Then disadvantage of IBS. First of all, high initial capital cost. The initial capital cost of IBS is usually high. The initial cost including the cost of constructing the factory casting beds and support machinery. The cost effectiveness can only be achieved when undertaking large projects. Second is problem of joints. Water leaking is often the major problem in building constructed using IBS. This problem is more obvious in Malaysia where running occurs rapidly throughout the year. Next is sophisticated plans and skilled operator. The prefabrication system relies heavily on sophisticated plans, which have to be well coordinated and maintained by skilled operator. Breakdown in any one section would hold up the entire production line. Thus, site accessibility. Site accessibility is one of the most important factors of the implementation of IBS. IBS requires adequate seat accessibility to transport IBS components from factory on the site. Lastly is large working area. Building construction using IBS requires a large working of area for the factory, trailers, tower cranes, and storage for the IBS components. This is some picture of disadvantage of industrial building system IBS. IBS in construction vs typical construction. This technology enables to reuse for recurring processes. When used IBS in construction, it will help to speed the delivery time and build affordable and quality house better than typical construction.
Hello everyone, my name is FARHANIZAM. I will explain about the case study for this topic. Okay, for the first case study, Malaysian Institute of Construction Research CRIM technical expert Prof. Dr. Zohairi Abdul Hamid revealed that the number of components that can be produced by IBS manufactured in Malaysia is only enough to build around 25,000 housing units annually, bernama report. CRIM is the research and development arm of the Malaysian Construction Industry Development Board (CIDB). This means they can only supply 25% of the component needed under the government 100,000 affordable unit plan in a year, he said. Malaysia currently has around 274 IBS component manufacturers and 26 IBS distributors registered with CIDB. For the second case study, Industrialized building system will invest around 100 million in its production and research development. This will also open up 180 new jobs when the plant is in full production. The facility, which will create modules aimed at residential apartment building, will be the most modern upon completion. It will be able to produce around 500,000 square feet of apartment module per year. Next case study, the digital technology used in the industry building system IBS construction method will help the government push to build more affordable housing. Moreover, the technology has the potential to reduce the country dependence on foreign workers, thus preventing annual capital outflow. Innovation and digital technology will be the way forward to meet the demand for affordable housing. This will produce 10,000 homes and 16,000 bedrooms a year. For the last case study, property developers are asked to optimize the use of industrial building system IBS, as it can reduce development costs more efficiently. The use of IBS requires less time to complete. It not only saves time but costs for hiring manpower and equipment. Data from the implementation and coordination unit of the Prime Minister Office also prove that the use of IBS in government projects has increased from 69.4% in 2016 to 86.7% in 2016. Meanwhile, the use of IBS for private sector projects exceeding 50 million also increased 14% in 2016 to 40% in 2019.